What's up, Sneeples? I'm going to be playing at the Battle Hardened in Dallas. It is a Blitz format, and I'm rocking the Emperor. So that means I can only be playing red cards. So why would I do that to myself, right? Well, because the Emperor is the only wizard left, and I think he's actually in a very good spot. Kano was the bad matchup, but no more is he around, so we have the deck to beat the format. That's what I believe. I'm going to show it to you right now. But we also have a Patreon where I will have a video on how to play it, the sideboard guide, everything you need to know to rock the Emperor at your armory or even at the Battle Hardened if I see you there. So let's get to it. All right, let's get into the Emperor. We're gonna start with the equipment here. We are running Arcanite Skullcap. The reason why Arcanite Skullcap is because we do start at 15 health, which is lower than any other hero out there. So we will have a block value of 2 here and be able to block an additional 1 after the fact. So Arcanite Skullcap definitely works very well for our hero. Flamescale Furnace is a must when it comes to the Emperor. Being able to use the ability here to gain extra resources with the amount of red cards in our pitch zone can help us do some pretty nutty stuff. It helps us get to the win combo. So very much needed with Flamescale Furnace. Brave Forge Bracers, these are just block value. We do not have a weapon that we can actually swing with. We are not rocking any sort of swords or axes or any of this such. But it does block for 2, and then because it's Battle Hardened, it blocks for additional 1. So Brave Forge Bracers, very, very good. And then, of course, one of the most broken equipments in the game, Storm Striders here. Definitely going to be using this to get over damage on our kill turn. Alright, and then we are going to be using the Waning Moon. This allows us to have a little bit more reach on that kill turn. Sometimes we will use it, you know, even without the kill turn, just coming in with a arcane spell and then Waning Moon after the fact. So Waning Moon helps us get a little bit more chip damage in. Okay, let's get into the bulk of it. So starting off with Command and Conquer, running the 2-of for sure. I mean, every card in this deck is a 2-of. But Command and Conquer definitely needed with the Emperor's ability to be able to search this. This could be good if your opponent has turn 0 and you get turn 1, you don't have much going on in your hand. You can always pitch 3 cards, use the Emperor's ability, find a Command Conquer, and threaten that arsenal. But it's also good for comboing with our next card, which is Tome of Imperial Flame. This card has really elevated the Emperor's game. This is almost an Emperor specialization in my head, because what it allows you to do is you're able to just play Tome of Imperial Flame, being able to draw 2 cards. Every card in your deck is red, as is required playing Emperor, so you will have 2 cards to pitch. They will have 2 resources in pitch zone. You then use your Flamescale Furnace, get that 3rd resource, and then guess what? Now you can use the Emperor's ability to find a Command and Conquer. So that is a 1-card Command and Conquer. And that's why it's very, very good. Now you can do so much more with Tome of Imperial Flame, but if you had a block with the rest of the cards in your hand and this is the only card you can play, then this is a great 1-card Command and Conquer. So we love that. Alright, and then let's talk about Emeritus Scolding. This is what we look forward to in the game. It's not always needed. Sometimes you can just get there without even using Storm Striders, but this one definitely has us give some reach. Being able to deal 4 damage on our turn, but 6 damage on their turn is really what we're looking at. Pair this with a Waning Moon, and then that is 9 damage. So despite you starting at 15 health, your opponent kind of starts at 11 health, because once they get to 9, then they gotta start worrying about this card. Alright, now let's get into kind of the meat and bones of this deck here. Starting off with a flex. What we're looking at when we're looking at attacks in this deck is we're looking for 0 for 4, and that's what we got here. Now flex has this additional text that allows it to become a 6 on the attack or block. That means that this can be a popper if need be going against Prism, but it also means that if we have some extra resources, maybe from our Tome of Imperial Flame, then we can use those extra resources to give him a pump. So it's just a slightly better than just your average 0 for 4. Alright, now speaking of average zeros for 4, this one is as average as it gets. However, this one has a special little number on it, and that is right here. This is a 0 for 4 that blocks for 3, and you don't see that anywhere else. That's why it does not have any ability, just a nice little flavor text, but we will take it. With the Emperor in this build, we are looking to block a lot. We are totally fine blocking 3 cards and sending a 0 for 4, or blocking 3 cards and sending like a zap, 0 for 3 arcane. That is what we are aiming to do. So when we have 0 for 4s that also block for 3, then it is accomplishing both our attack and defense needs. Speaking of such, this one does it a little bit better, right? Standing Order, 0 for 4 that blocks for 3. However, this one could come in a little bit stronger or defend a little bit better depending if you have an arsenal that you are willing to sink away. So it could be a 0 for 6, pretty sweet, or it could just be blocking for 5, and that's not bad either. Standing Order, a very, very good card, another great addition to the Emperor. Alright, we all know Snatch. This is a classic 0 for 4. On hit, draws a card. I would say about 90% of our deck, we are totally cool with just drawing and arsenaling. So this card is pretty great, even if you don't have if this is your only attack and then you have no arsenal, you will probably have a good arsenal hit target if it hits. So can't go wrong with a Snatch. Next up, we have Coax of Commotion. Coax of Commotion obviously has the on hit where you can choose a variety of things. Most of the time what I'm choosing is the Quicken token. Not all the time, but if I'm going against like a Guardian that I don't think is going to be able to take advantage of the Quicken token, or maybe I'm going against a Briar that already has an embodiment of lightning, or a KO that already has an agility, then yeah, let's get it Quicken on our side, because we have all these 0 for 4s that don't have Go Again, but now they will. So we do like Coax of Commotion for that. Again, just a 0 for 4. It does block for 2, but has a nice little on hit. Alright, now let's get into our arcane damage. Now, unfortunately, there is no 0 for 4 arcane. It's always 0 for 3, but that's okay. What we're looking to do is just block, 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 and zap, right? Or, you know, we can block for our zaps, because all these 0 for 3s block for 3, which is very nice. So the wizard cards actually block pretty well. So we got zap, we have sap. Essentially all these wizard cards are the same thing. We don't have an ability to give. We're not running the Crucible of Aetherweave, so we have no ability to give it a little bit more damage. So sap is essentially the same as zap, which is essentially the same as prognosticate. Again, 0 for 3, blocks 3. And here we go, Aether Dart. Now Aether Dart's a little different. Probably not going to see a Dromai and Blitz, but if you do, this can target a dragon, so it does have a little bit of an edge over the others. But again, just mostly 0 for 3 that blocks 3. Okay, going back to our attacks here, these are attacks that actually have Go Again. Scar for Scar. Again, we start with 15 health, so we are going to be able to give this Go Again a majority of the time. So 0 for 4 with Go Again, very good, especially if you can go 0 for 4 and then follow up with like an Aether Dart, right? Now you're like doing combat in 2 ways, on the physical end and on the arcane end. Blaze Headlong, another one that has a Go Again. It is a conditional Go Again, so it could just be a 0 for 4, no Go Again. But, you know, if you played a Scar, if you played some of these other spells we'll get into, then that can help Blaze Headlong get the Go Again, so you can just have this kind of a big turn. Alright, next up, E-Strike. Card's just pretty damn good. Not a 0 for anything, because you do have to have another card in your hand to put under. But, you know, a 2-card 7 is very good. Even if it has Go Again, we can make that work. Or even just drawing a card to put in your arsenal afterwards isn't bad there either. So usually this can help get a little bit of chip damage in. So that's why we like E-Strike. And then that number right there is very, very good. Blocking 3. Okay, Ravenous Rabble. Yeah, this is always going to come in for 4, which you gotta like that. The whole deck is red, so always going to hit for 4. And yeah, it's just a great 0 for 4 with Go Again. Can help go into some other attack or arcane spell. Alright, so another new addition is Test of Strength. So Test of Strength is a 0 for 4 just on the blocking side. Do we have the most strongest of attacks to win the clashes? No, not really. We do have Command and Conquer and some 0 for 4s, but generally not. But I'm okay with Test of Strength because even if we lose, they get a gold. Most heroes aren't going to be able to use the gold in the most proficient way. Hell, we aren't even going to use the gold in the most proficient way. But what we are looking to do with it is just be able to block a little bit more meteor. So that's why I like Test of Strength. I think it's pretty good, especially when you're coming in against Briars that have a lot of on-hit value. Alright, Sink Below, you know, just a classic good D-React. Can't go wrong with it. Don't think I need to explain anything more there. Fate Foreseen, kind of the same deal. You know, if you're going to be playing a defensive deck, and this deck is a defensive deck, then, you know, having 2 Sinks and 2 Fates is needed. Sigil of Solace, this is a card that can help turn the Blaze Headlong on, get go again. A good turn 0, a good arsenal just to have. Just overall a good card. You know, doesn't block, but gaining the 3 life can be good. Alright, and then we have our 3 tokens of the deck. We can make the agility with one of the cards in our sideboard. We'll get into gold. We were making it from the Test of Gold, and then Quicken from the Coax of Commotion. Into our sideboard, we have Metacarpus Node. This is to reach against fatigue. That's really what this is about, not much else. Scalding Rain, again, just another sort of reach against fatigue. Can be a 2 for 6 if used right. Test of Agility, this is what makes the agility token. I'm good bringing this in like against Briar, where they have a lot of on hits and they're coming in for 4 most of the time. So Test of Agility blocks very well there. Yes, it could give them a go again or like an agility token, which is really good, but we could also get it. So, you know, you kind of take the risk there. And then Agile Windup, this is for the prisms. This allows us to have 4, 6 or higher in our deck, and with the flex, we could have 6 power. So that's what we use that for. Prism's not generally all that bad. Despite it classically being bad for like a Kano. Alright, and that is the deck in its entirety. So that is what I plan to play at the Battle Hardened in Dallas. Looking to have some fun representing the Emperor. I think this deck's in a very good spot. The one problem it had was Kano, and Kano's gone. So again, if you want to know a little bit more, if you want more of a breakdown on like matchups and how to pilot the deck, be sure to check out our Patreon. We'll have the video out there. But until next time, thanks for watching. Keep on with that.